Some women do the pregnancy test and it comes out negative, and they have all the signs and symptoms of pregnancy and they are so confused. What is happening? Where did the error come from? This is what we are talking about today on this episode. SB Queen asked a question. I had my period, it wasn't really heavy, maybe for 2 days, but also did a pregnancy test, it came out negative. Now I am having cravings. I want to eat cheese every day. I am nauseous, dizzy, moody, tired. I'm noticing big stretch marks coming on my belly. I have tender nipples and peeing often. Now I am really confused. Welcome to Talk Pregnancy with Dr. Nuella. If you're new to this channel, please click the subscription button such that you're going to receive weekly advice on pregnancy and women-related health issues. To those who have subscribed, thank you very much and I love you. This is a common question which has been popping up in my mail these days. There are several reasons why the pregnancy test is negative and you have the signs and symptoms of pregnancy. There are two things. It could either be a false negative pregnancy test, that is, you are pregnant but the test shows negative, or it could actually be negative and you are actually not pregnant. So those are the two scenarios: a false negative test and an actual negative test. So we go to the false negative test. What can make the test negative when actually you are pregnant? The first thing is the timing. If your timing is wrong, if you do the pregnancy test early, very early, most of the times it's advisable to do it when you have missed your period. But at times, if you want to do it so early, at least 5 days before your expected menses, if you do it at time, 71% of the test should be positive. Now, if you want to be sure, if you have done it before your expected menses, you have to wait at least, maybe you miss your period first, then give yourself some time, 2 or 3 days before you redo the test. If you do it very early, the human chorionic Gonadotropin hormone, which is the hormone which is produced during pregnancy, when it is early, the level is very low and it cannot be really detected using the urine test strip. So it's important you give some time such that that hormone is going to increase in the body. Definitely, we should be expecting that it should be positive if you have done it rightly. The second point is your menstrual cycle. There are a lot of women who don't know their menstrual cycle, how long their cycle is. Majority of women have a 28-day cycle, but many women tend to consider this 28-day cycle as their own cycle without calculating it. If you have a longer cycle, in this case, you might turn to do the test a bit earlier and it's negative. So giving some time is going to help you. Thirdly, the urine test. The urine, there are things you need to take into consideration. If you want to do the urine test, it's important that you take all this into consideration. You'll take the early morning urine. Why? Because this urine is concentrated and you should not drink a lot of water. Because when you drink a lot of water, it tends to neutralize this urine and even that hormone which is present in the urine. We should be expecting the test to be positive if you have taken it correctly. Next point is mistakes that we make while taking the pregnancy test. First, the mistakes you make you taking the pregnancy test is with the strips. Maybe you don't read the advice on the pregnancy strip. There are measures, for example, where the urine is supposed to end at the level of the strip. If you take the urine, if you put the strip and the urine goes above that level, it might give you a faulty result. So it's important you go back. Once it's negative, you can go back to the leaflet of the pregnancy strip. you read it all over again and you redo it, and make sure you follow all the instructions given. Lastly, it's important you check the expiring date of this pregnancy strip. If it's expired, therefore we should be expecting poor results, faulty results. So it's important you check all this before you confirm your pregnancy test is negative. Now, in a case where it is negative and you are actually not pregnant and you feel all the signs and symptoms of pregnancy, what is happening? Here, the first thing is maybe you have an irregular cycle, and there are many things that can cause this irregular cycle. An irregular cycle lasting up to 38 days, 39 days, 40 days, and maybe you don't know about all this, and it might have just started. So if you have an irregular cycle, it is for you to know that you have an irregular cycle. A month can pass when you don't see your period. You might want to do a pregnancy test and it's negative, and in this case it's because you have this irregular cycle. Secondly, premenopausal women, you're getting towards menopause. When you want to get towards menopause, and there are times that in women that menopause comes early, even as early as 35 years of age. So when menopause wants to start coming, you start having episodes of skip menses. So if you skip your menses during that time, you might do a pregnancy test and it's negative, and you start following up and you see that at the end it was menopause coming. So women who are on hormonal contraceptive methods, when you have started taking your hormonal contraceptive methods, or you are already stopping it, or you have stopped it, you tend to have skip menses, you tend to have irregular menses or irregular cycles. So after this, during this period, if you have some miss of menses, it's normal. It's normal. And with the presence of these hormones in your body, it can give you all those signs and symptoms of pregnancy, whereas it is negative just because you have introduced a new hormone in your system and it has caused some distortion in your system. Therefore, it should be irregular. Lastly, in women who are suffering from infertility, this is really one of the most common cause of women who do their pregnancy test most of the times when they miss 1, 2 days, 3 days, and they do a pregnancy test and it's negative. They have all this feeling like they want to get pregnant, so they tend to feel all those signs and symptoms when most of the times they are psychologically felt. Even after they do an ultrasound scan and they tell you that there is no baby inside your womb, they still insist that they are pregnant. So these are scenarios which we have seen, and it's also very common. If you do a pregnancy test and it is negative, you take all these measures to know if it is actually negative or not. Then, just to be sure, it's good if you were the one who did it. It's very important you go to a health facility, let someone else do it for you, so that you're going to confirm whether it is actually negative or not. If this was helpful to you, please give a thumbs up to our video. And if you want to have a private discussion with me, you can click on the link below. You can also follow us on all social media platforms. We are here for you. God bless you.